Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice and Bengals Nation. I'm your host, Jeff Trenopole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, home of the Hall of Famer, best second baseman ever, Joe Morgan. Now this show and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, if you found the show, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm up to 660 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. Now, this is a Bengals show. We do a Bengals recap of the debacle on Sunday. But I had to take a minute and talk about the passing of Joe Morgan, the greatest second baseman in baseball history. Joe passed away Sunday at the age of 77. He was a 10-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner. He played for 5 different teams, but he's most remembered as a Cincinnati Red and part of the Big Red Machine. After he retired, he played 22 years. He played from 66 to 84. After he retired, a lot of people, younger people, got to know him on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. He did that from 89 to 2010. 2010, he came home to the Cincinnati Reds and became a senior baseball advisor to baseball operations. Now, you must remember, like I said, he was a big cog of the Big Red Machine, 2-time world champ, 75, 76, the only second baseman in history to win back-to-back MVPs in 75 and 76. This is a huge loss for baseball in general and a huge loss for the Cincinnati Reds family. So my thoughts, hearts, prayers, all goes out to the Morgan family. And it's just, we lost a legend today. So I'll bring my boys in, Jeremy and Mike. What's going on, boys? How you doing today?
What's going on, man?
How's it going?
So you got a thoughts or anything about Joe Morgan, or are we going to get into the Bengals Ravens here?
Man, what more can you say other than what you just said? Really, it was best second baseman of all time, hands down. Little Joe.
Yeah,
we're gonna miss you, buddy.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah, my hearts go out to the family, and hey, he was a great player. He will be missed. Go Reds.
Yeah, they're actually they got a statue of him down here at GABP, and fans are starting to put flowers and cards and stuff down there. So, like I said, Joe Morgan was a great guy. He was a leader on and off the field. All right, so let's get into this debacle of the Bengals and the Ratbirds. The Bengals lost 27-3. I think you have got the biggest thing there is you got the haves, which were the Ratbirds, and the have-nots were the Bengals. What do you guys got?
I'm completely at a loss with this one. I mean, I'm not at a loss, but just how we came out and played. I was just really, really let down. I was hoping that it would at least be a close game. I think we all deep down knew what we had in the offensive line.
Yeah.
But I still deep down, thought we would at least come out and give them a little kick like we normally do, and that it never happened. From the first series, it never happened.
Right. Yeah, what killed me is the defense actually played pretty good. Other than the first, couple drives, the Ravens in the last 8 drives scored a field goal. That's it. So they basically held them to 20 points. I mean, 20. If your defense holds anybody in the NFL to 20 points, you should at least have a chance to win. There was just one, they're better than us in the defense. Their defense scheme is just crazy. And you got to look at this. We got a rookie quarterback. We got a second-year coach. We got a rookie left tackle. I'm not trying to give excuses, but these are the facts. This is what we have. And this is a veteran football team. You got 7 guys standing up. You don't know who's coming, who's leading. I mean, Joe Burrow even said, he goes, we had a great week of practice. It just didn't translate to the game. He goes, I missed the protection calls. Zach Taylor said he missed stuff, which to me, Zach Taylor shouldn't miss anything. But Zach Taylor said that before, and I kind of got to give him credit. He does admit when, he messes up. I mean, Marvin Lewis would just say, well, we just got to get better. We just got to get better. Zach says, yeah, I screwed up. I have to do better, and we'll work on that. I know where I messed up on. And so it's going to be, to me, this season is got to be, one, make it through the whole season without getting Joe Burrow killed. That's number one. And number two is, like Joe Burrow has said in his press conference, we're building a culture here. We're building, hopefully, a winning culture. And there are a lot of good, positive things that have happened. Yesterday, there was some. The defense was one. But those are the things that you got to keep building forward. I know some people said, we should just tank and go get the number one pick. To me, you need to build a winning culture as much as you can here. And there are winnable games coming up in the next, half of the season.
That's true. That's true. 205 total yards on offense. That's not going to do it, though. It's not going to do it against anybody, against any team, anywhere, any sport, or any level.
I mean, we held them to 332 yards. So our defense did good. And Jonah here says, fire Jim Turner and Zach Taylor. We were just talking about not Zach Taylor, but Jim Turner, because whoever convinced Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor that we're good on the offensive line needs to be fired. Jeremy, you got something on that, don't you?
Yeah, it comes down to Jim Turner, and he nailed it with the question there. That's exactly what happened. It was actually during our little limited, but the same as everybody else, training camp, that Jim Turner told Zach Taylor that the offensive line was taken care of. Now, Jim Taylor is almost twice anyway, Zach Taylor's age. So I don't think Taylor really stood up to him a whole lot. Didn't really look at the whole. When you keep the same line for 3 freaking years, and you're still getting this kind of production, you got to put it on somebody. I don't know who you're going to put it on, but you got to put it on somebody.
I mean, one of our biggest problems, we were just talking about this on our pre-show fist fight, is the Bengals have tried. They have tried to fix the offensive line. The problem is they've had 3 number 1 draft picks, and only one of them so far has worked. And that's Jonah Williams. Billy Price has been a bust. Cedric Ogbuehi was a complete bust. And then you also got another number 1 pick in John Ross, who's a bust. So that's 3 number 1 picks that are busts. And John Ross, I hope to God he figures it out and can get something out of them. But when we were going to 5 straight playoff games, and 5 straight playoffs, and we lost all 5 playoff games. We know that. Anyway, but when we were going to that, Duke Tobin was hitting on every single draft pick from the 1st pick to the 5th pick. And he hasn't done that. Now, this year, it actually looks like they have. I mean, Burrow's good. T. Higgins is good. Logan Wilson is good. I don't know about Adeniji yet. We haven't seen him yet. That's the one we were discussing about earlier, too.
Why not? Why not try Adeniji? Why not? And we actually discussed this as well. It's not. Now the Bengals are going to start second guessing themselves on the draft. We have busted so many times in the past 3 years now, on linemen, especially, that now they're going to be, especially if we get a high draft pick. I would literally it would be tough to pull the trigger on anybody high.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if they have, in my opinion, if they have another offseason like they did this past one, where they pretty much just concentrate on the defense, if they concentrate on the offensive line and they mix and match between the draft and signing people, this can get fixed in a year. I really do believe that. All right. Joe's got a question here or a statement. I thought the defense did pretty well, especially holding Lamar to 3 yards rushing. The offensive line needs help, especially on the right side. Yeah, exactly. That's Joe. You hit it right on the head. That's exactly what I said. I mean, I saw Jonah Williams. I saw him get beat at least once. It was the one where Burrow got sacked from behind. That's the only one I really saw him get beat on. I saw him with a missed assignment. I don't know if it was him or Sample. I think it was him, because Sample was already blocking this one guy, and Jonah went over to help him block, and then they let a free rusher right at Joe Burrow. And you cannot do that. That's where I'll get it to coaching. And I'm not trying to harp on Zach, or the offensive line, Turner. You cannot have missing assignments. That's inexcusable. There's no reason. I don't care if these guys are better than you. You at least have to be in front of them. Them to run free at your quarterback is inexcusable. You've got to at least get it. If they beat you, they beat you. That's fine. But they at least have got to get in front of you and at least be in the right position.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
That's all right. I thought they did a great job of handling Lamar, though. That was part of the 3 key of games. They did a great job of handling him, keeping him in the pocket. He didn't kill us on throws. They forced them to run, so that's what they needed to do. But like Jeff said, there's a lot of things they need to get corrected.
Yeah.
But good job on the defense, though.
Jonah here says, if we blow up the offensive line, how do we fix it? Well, I don't think we have to blow it up. I honestly, it's 2 guys. Well, and really, it could be just one guy, because one injury that everybody keeps forgetting about is Seraphilia. He got hurt the very first game. He was signed to be our right guard. And I can't tell you he's going to fix it. I don't know. I didn't see him play that long. But ever since he's been hurt, it's just been a revolving door at right guard. And I don't think Bobby Hart is a very good player, but when he has a halfway decent right guard, I think he does okay. And with Joe Burrow, we at least need an okay line. Yesterday we were terrible.
Personally, I look at it this way. We just like you said, we've got the 2 guys. We've got Bobby Hart, Fred Johnson, or Redmond, whoever. It doesn't matter. Like I said, they'd all make great backups. Okay, they'd all make great backups.
Yeah, I would love those backups. That's where they should be.
Yeah, they got to go. I mean, they've got to be backups. They're not starters. We clearly saw that this week when every time Burrow was getting hit, I was closing my eyes. Just, when's he not going to get back up? He's not going to get back up. Oh, he's holding his arm. He's holding.
When his arm got hit, that one really scared me.
Yeah.
All right. Jerry Trenopole, I don't know who that guy is. Any ideas on where to get an offensive line help this year? No, we can't. I don't think. I mean, if they were good, they'd already be on a team. So I don't think you can pick. They're not laying around on the street. I wish they were.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to pick them up. All right. Facebook user. The problem I see is no one is held accountable for their actions. Also, Burrow needs to get rid of the ball and stop taking. Yeah, I do agree that Burrow needs to get rid of the ball a little more, but he even admitted that. And I mean, there was a couple of times he's running around. I'm like, dude, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Because the biggest thing is we don't want him getting hurt. There's a couple of them. There's nobody open. He's got to get rid of the ball. It just has to happen. Now, that's not when they're when the linebackers or the DN are running straight at you. As soon as you hike the ball, it's kind of hard to get rid of it that fast.
Yeah, that's true. And, if he does just hike the ball every time that they're coming after him in 2.5, 3 seconds at them, never 3, rarely 3. If he just turns around, throws the ball out of bounds, people are going to be ticked off about that too. So,
yeah. All right, Facebook user. Our O-line is by far the worst I've seen in the history of the NFL. Dalton never our problem. Our O-line has always been, and coaching. Yeah, I mean, I've never said Andy Dalton was a problem at all. Or Joe Burrow is 10 times better than Andy Dalton, and I love Andy Dalton. I hope he does great in Dallas. Not when he comes here, but I've always liked Andy Dalton, but Joe Burrow is. It's not even close. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not close. And I love Andy Dalton. It's not close. And I'm never, and people keep going, oh, it wasn't Andy Dalton's fault. Well, this guy right here never said it was Andy Dalton's fault. And I don't think I know Jeremy never said it. I don't think Mike ever said it. So we've never said that. Other people might have said it. I mean, it's been the offensive line. And like I said, the thing is, the Bengals, and people keep going, oh, offensive line, this is the worst I've ever seen. Do you remember the 90s? Do you remember David Klinger getting sacked like 20-something times by the Steelers? Do you remember Jeff Blake running around? Those were awful offensive lines. So I've seen some really bad ones. And they say this always happens with the Bengals. Well, not true. When we had Carson Palmer as our quarterback and we had Andy Dalton when he first got here as our quarterback, we already had a good offensive line. That helped them a lot. And everybody wants to forget that. Everyone wants to say, we got a bad offensive line. We got bad this, but they've tried to fix the offensive line. They have missed big time, and I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just giving you the facts. This is what they've done. Now, where they really messed up, in my opinion, they should have tried to fix it, done something this year. But there were so many holes and so many things to fix on last year's team. We were just, we won, 2 games? We were a god-awful team last year. That's a long ways to go from there to where we are now.
And that's probably where we're going to be again this year. we brought back the same offensive line, and isn't it funny how with the same offensive line, your results are the same, baby, every time. You know,
Nope.
it is what it is.
One different. We got Jonah Williams in there.
Well,
he's the one difference from last year.
Yeah, he's a rookie, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's still a rookie.
I mean, in my opinion, if they should keep anybody on the offensive line, it should be like you guys said. It should be Hopkins and what's the other?
Jonah Williams.
Yep, Williams. So those two are probably the best you got until we can get rid of the other ones.
I mean,
like Jeremy said, if you don't change, it's going to be the same result. So
I mean, I'm okay with Michael Jordan at left guard. I mean, I don't think he's awesome, but he's only his second year playing. I don't think he's as big a problem as the right guard and right tackle.
No. Yeah, you're right there.
All right, Facebook user. Defense is legit. Bates is playing like an all-pro. Yeah, exactly. And that's what gives me hope. See, the defense sucked last year, and it was terrible the year before that. So they actually concentrated and made it better. I mean, it's a legit defense now. I mean, there's some stuff on the defense that the Ratbirds, how many times they sacked Burrow. They hit him 10 times. And they sacked him 7 times or 3 times in the first half. Hit him 10 times in the first half, sacked him 3 times. That's just in the first half. I mean, you can't get hit that many times and expect to be able to do anything. It's we keep saying offensive line, but yeah, that's what it is. Seraphilia, Facebook user, Seraphilia is good too, though. He's just injured. Yeah, I know, and I don't think he's coming back. I think he's on the injured reserve, and when you're on the IR, I don't think you're coming back. Unfortunately, that's the same thing that happened to DJ Reader. We lost him yesterday, and then he was our big free agent signing. But we signed what's the guy's name? Xavier Williams. I got it written down here. You guys got that information on Xavier Williams, don't you?
Hey, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He played with New England, and he got cut from New England, and then he went to Kansas City. He was a nose tackle, 6'2", 311. So not bad as far as the height and weight goes. But we'll have to see when they give him a chance to play, see how he turns out.
Yeah, he's a 6-year pro. He was originally a college free agent, like you said, out of the University of Northern Iowa. He's, like I said, 6 years. He's had 45 career games, 80 tackles, and 3 sacks. So, we fixed DJ Reader. We're going to replace him completely with this guy. It'll be fine. It's great. No, not really.
2 of our biggest free agent signings are now sitting on the bench with Trey Waynes and DJ Reader.
Yep.
That sucks. That's hard. And I'll give it to our defense too. Lamar Jackson wasn't at 100%, so he wasn't running around like he normally does at 100%. But they did a good job. I mean, 332 total yards. That's pretty solid. You take that take it to the bank almost every Sunday if that's all you would literally give up to any team, no matter who you played. So, the defense was there. They played good enough for us to win the ball game. Our offensive line just outshined everybody with suckiness. They beat everybody.
Shined it up there. Outshined everybody.
Right.
All right, Facebook user. IR this year is only mandatory for 3 weeks. So if he's better after that, then he can come back. So, okay, well, this would be the 3rd week then, wouldn't it? So, right? He was out after – talk about Seraphilia, sorry. He was out after the 1st week. Wouldn't this be the – right? Yeah.
Yeah, this would be the 3rd.
I was told math is not.
About, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe they changed that this year. All right, the other line is very young. Too bad we can't get instant experience. Yeah, well, they're getting instant experience. They're just not that good.
Oh man, they're horrible.
All right, get low, Jeff. It's more than the offensive line. we're getting the balls out too late for those short passes. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we didn't. That was yesterday. I didn't see that. The other 4 games, he was getting the passes out, and he had 300 something yards. And it's hard to get 3 passes out when you're on your back. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
That's what I was. When you've got a free rusher coming in your face, and you just hike the ball, your eyes are just going down the field. And Burrow kept his eyes down the field the whole game. Props to my boy. But anyway, kept his eyes down the field. But when you got a free rusher coming at you, just about what seemed like every few plays in that game, you start getting a little bit tentative, squirrely, looking around. He threw a pick, which AJ completely boggled. I couldn't believe AJ watched the guy intercept the ball and start running down the field. AJ standing there looking at him. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that kind of let me know. I believe he did mouth the words, "I want to be traded" or "trade me," because watching that play, there was zero effort, by my boy AJ.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I don't know what anybody would trade him for. I mean, he's injured, and the thing is, okay, so if he did actually say trade me, I mean, is he really hurt? I mean, if you're hurt, how are you going to mouth to somebody trade me? I mean, just honestly, you're nobody's going to trade for you if you're hurt, and you haven't produced in almost 3 years. So I don't really know what AJ, if AJ even said it. I don't know if he said it or not. They said somebody read the lips. I don't know, but it's just I mean, logically, let's put it this way: logically, you're not playing very good. You haven't played in a year and a half, really, until this year, and you're sitting down in the game because you're injured, and then you mouth the words "trade me." Who's going to trade for you? I mean, you're going to get a bucket of footballs? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Where's he going to go? Who's going to take him?
Right.
Nobody right now. Nobody's going to give him what he wants.
Right.
And any team that watches that play, if he's healthy, and they watch what he did, just completely gave up. Didn't try to run after the guy. He kind of jogged. It was pretty dead on, letting the team know, I'm done here in Cincinnati. I don't believe he's gave us 100% all year. I really don't. I don't.
I mean, a lot of people said that last year because there was times. Remember last year? I mean, he didn't play a whole year, and he was never on the IR. He was always day to day. Always, he may play. He might play. He's going to play this week. Then he's not going to play. So everybody had, it was kind of a, sign of things to come. And the thing is, he's getting paid $18 million. Nobody's going to trade and pay you $18 million for what you're producing. I understand he's frustrated. But if he said it, it was just silly. Just a silly thing to say, I think.
I believe him, but yeah, completely ridiculous.
All right. What did Joe Burrow say about him calling the blocking? Joe actually said it in his press conference that some of the blocking schemes and stuff, he missed them. And that's the thing is when, like I said, Joe Burrow's a rookie quarterback. When he's standing up there and they got 7 guys standing up and you don't know who's coming, who's dropping back, and since the offensive line wasn't that good, they really weren't able to spread them out. A way to beat the blitz is to get your offensive line to hold them and keep their assignments, spread them out 5 wide, and get the check downs, real quick hitters. And AJ Green and Andy Dalton were very good at that. But also AJ Green and Andy Dalton played for 10 years together. So AJ just had a sense, okay, to get out of his route and get open for Andy Dalton. And I don't think AJ should be doing that for Joe Burrow, but he's not. He's really the only one I think. Maybe Boyd could do it, but somebody's got to, check down and say, hey, I'm open, throw it or something. Because if you do that, eventually they're going to stop blitzing you. If you keep just chunking them down the field, they're going to stop blitzing eventually.
That's true. But, we could be doing the same thing. Every time we go up against the Ravens, man, look at that defense. They're running a 3-4 defense. They're running a lot of linebacker blitzes from the defense. They do it every time to Cincinnati. They've done it for years. We've seen it 100 times. What really gets to me is before this year started, that was supposed to be what Cincinnati was turning into. We were turning into that 3-4 blitz the quarterback defense, and all of a sudden we get away from it. We get back in zone. We jump back in the 4-3, throw them in zone, and it's mind-boggling. When we go in 3-4, just like the Ravens run 90% of their plays,
right?
We're getting after the quarterback. We're doing stuff, or at least we look good doing it. Okay.
Right.
But the Ravens, we always look at the Ravens and say, look at his defense. Look how great this defense is. That's the defense we're supposed to have. That's why we went out and got Reeder and Waynes, which everybody's sitting on the bench now, I know. But that was supposed to be the concepts that we were going to run. And for some reason, we're not doing it.
Well, yeah, yesterday, I'll actually have to give – I didn't even say his name right. Amarudo. I think I said his name right. I have to give him some credit because – there was one time they were going down the field and they started playing zone. Then they stopped. And that's where we held them to a field goal. And I even said it to you guys on our group chat. I said, don't play zone. And then they stopped. I don't think they heard me, but I noticed more guys getting after the quarterback. There was a couple times where our secondary, played great. I mean, we didn't get to Lamar Jackson, but we held him in the pocket and he had nowhere to go and he couldn't throw the ball. That happened a couple times. And we did. I think I sacked him like once, I think. Is that right? He only had 3 yards of rushing and 180 yards of passing. So, I mean, he was 71.9 passer rating. So, I mean, our defense, I think, did pretty solid job. I wish they would have done it in the first 3 drives, but I honestly, the way the offensive line played and the way Joe Burrow got hit, I don't really think it was going to matter because that was the thing that was the adjustments that needed to be made is that offensive line and the blocking schemes.
Yep. And giving up 2 fumbles and an interception, 3 turnovers in a game against the Ravens, not a winning formula. 205 total yards, not a winning formula.
Right.
That's the way it is.
All right, get low. Sometimes we forget Joe freaking Burrow is a rookie. Yep. He's not going to pick up all the reblitz. Exactly. And that's good point. Get low. I was saying that earlier. I think I said it on the show, or I know I said it on our pre-show fist fight, but he is a rookie. I mean, he's a really damn good rookie and he's played great, but I don't think he's ever seen a defense like the Ravens. He can hear about it. You can watch film on it. You can do everything, but until you're right there in it, and experiencing it, you like Joe said, a good thing. They asked him how you dealing with getting hit and all this stuff, and this is the attitude that Joe has, and this is the attitude that all the Bengals need. He goes, you just deal with it. You get up, you play every game or play every play extremely hard, and you deal with it and you move on and you get better. That's all they can do. I mean, unfortunately, they were outgunned for the most part in this game. And as far as their defense, their offensive line compared to their defensive line, I mean, it's just Joe Burrow. Like I said, Joe Burrow's amazing, but he's still a rookie. That's what everybody has to keep in mind. He's still a rookie.
Well, and the thing with Burrow too is, I appreciate him saying that, but it only takes one. It only takes one time. He's going to get hit, and he's not going to come back. So That's what worried me. There was too much sitting around worrying about that on Sunday. Too much.
Yeah. Look at. I mean, and the thing is, look at Dak Prescott. I know everybody's worried about Joe Burrow and getting hit. Dak Prescott got injured. He's done for the year. And he's got a really good offensive line. So it can happen with a good offensive line or without one. I mean, it's football. So, yes, now it's a greater chance of it happening if you get sacked, 7 times in one game. So there's a greater chance of that happening. But it can happen, anytime. Now, this is kind of interesting, though. The Bengals haven't been shut out in 51 games. Now, guess who the last team who shut them out was? Go ahead, guess.
Baltimore.
The Ratbirds. Yep. 2017 opener. They're red. The Bengals avoided it with a field goal But this is another thing I took from what Joe said in his press conference yesterday. And this is where he's bringing a winning culture to this organization and what they have to do to get better. He said, we're building a culture here. Today, obviously, it wasn't great. He said, we will look back at this day in a few years and say, wow, that was kind of what propelled us. Now, he said that after he got hit 15 times and sacked 7 times. I hope he's right. I'm really curious of how they will do at the end of the season because the last game is Baltimore. So it will be interesting. Everybody just take I don't think anybody's going to forget how bad this was, but just take a mental note and, say, all right, end of the year, we got Baltimore. Let's see if we've grown anything. And the thing is, we've got the NFC North or AFC North is by far, in my opinion, the toughest division in football. And you've got 2 of the teams who've got the best defense in football, in the Squealers and the Ratbirds. And Joe's going to see him twice. So the good thing is, going forward, he's going to play against the best defenses. He's going to eventually figure it out, and we're going to eventually beat them. Right now, we're not. So those are just good things. Oh, we got some more questions here. Let's see here. Poor Bago. Can you guys let Mike comment? Sure. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you guys are fine. As far as, the offensive line, Joe Mixon, here's a stat for you. Joe Mixon had 24 rushes for 59 yards. That's not going to win you many ball games with the offensive line that we got. Even Burrow would tell you the same thing. If he admitted to not making a lot of right decisions or not making the right calls or whatever. But if you don't have that offensive line to protect you, you're not going to win too many ball games.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If Mixon is making his first cut in the backfield, it's curtains. All right. Pooh Bengal Fair. Let's admit Zach Taylor is not the guy. I have a hard time doing that. Like when you don't have the soldiers, you don't have the guys, you don't have the right parts. I have a hard time admitting that he's not the guy. Like I said, my thing is I'm waiting until next year, and I'm hoping next year in the offseason that they fix the offensive line. And if it's still the same problems and we still have missing assignments and he still comes out and says, well, that was my bad play then yes, I say you get rid of Zach Taylor. But the other thing you got to realize is you don't want to keep a revolving door at your head coach when you have a rookie quarterback. Look at Sam Darnold with the Jets. He's probably about to have his 3rd head coach, and he's been playing, 4 years? Because they're probably going to fire their head coach. That's not something you want to keep doing, I'm not saying Zach Taylor's a guy. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff he does that I like, and there's a lot of stuff he does I don't like. But Marvin was the same thing.
I really didn't exactly like the choice when we signed him.
Right.
Just to be completely honest with you guys. But now that we have signed him, we got to keep him. He's going to have to. We're going to have to keep him through this year. He's not going anywhere, at least through this year. The Bengals don't let people go in the middle of the season. That's just not the way they do things. But I think if we would have got a more established head coach rather than some young guy just to come in, especially with a new rookie and that kind of deal, even if we were 1-3-1 right now, if it were, say, Mike McCarthy, I think people would probably be giving him a little more of the fair balance than they're giving a young Zach Taylor. So that's really why, I kind of wish they would have went with that established guy, but at the same time, let's see what we got. I mean, hell, we ain't got nothing else to lose right now.
Exactly.
Right.
Get low. Gio was very limited yesterday. Any idea why? Yeah, the Baltimore the Ratbirds. I think that they limited him. They limited the Bengals offense. I mean, everybody. There wasn't anywhere to go with the ball, to run the ball, to throw the ball. Wasn't nothing. What's up, Matthew? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Matthew.
All right, here we go. We got another question here. Taylor got fired from UC. Well, actually, he got fired with the coach, which was oh my goodness, what was the coach's name at UC? Who Tommy? Oh yeah, Tommy Tuberville.
Tommy Tuberville?
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville. Oh my God, that was a terrible hire. Yeah, Zach was only there for the last season. Tuberville was there, so yeah, he got fired, but so the whole coaching staff. So let's see here. Marvin is Bill Walsh compared to Taylor. Okay, again, Marvin had an offensive line before, and I keep saying it. Marvin had an offensive line before we got here. Willie Anderson was already here. They drafted Levi Jones not too long after Marvin got here. So, and they hit both of them. They hit, and then they got. I mean, Whitworth, Big Whit. He wasn't a first round pick. I mean, they got lucky with him. I mean, that's the thing. We haven't got lucky with our draft picks. Big Whit was second, third round, and he was a guard for the longest time till Willie retired. Or actually, we let him go, and then he went to the Ratbirds for a year, and then he became our left tackle. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's like we've missed on our offensive linemen big time.
Way too much. You know what, though? I will tell you one guy who we did hit on, and that was Logan Wilson. That guy, he's impressive.
Okay, and I'll put it to you this way. We're just saying, Duke hit on all the draft picks in the 5-year run. So far, I think I said this in the show, right? But so far, it looks like they've hit on everybody. I don't know about Adeniji, because like I said, we haven't even seen him play. But the first 3, you got Joe Burrow, which, I mean, that's a no-brainer. But then T. Higgins, Logan Wilson, that dude can play. That dude is going to be a good linebacker for us. I mean, he should have had 2 interceptions yesterday. Should have had him. The other one, I'm like, oh, it's right there. Do it.
Yeah, he's legitimately. He's going to be. He's going to be a beast. He is going to be probably a top linebacker eventually. Give him some years, and he'll be up there.
Yep,
no doubt.
All right,
it's nice to see Davis Gaither and them guys playing good too. Even as you get in the middle of the draft, they're all on the field right now.
Yeah, he should have had that. He should have had that interception too. He was the one that missed the other one. So I mean, that's a good sign that we've hit on. It looks like all of us. I don't know about Adeniji. Well, hopefully we'll see him sometime. All right, get low.
One thing I'd like to bring up real quick, if I can, Jeff. I talked to you about this before the show today. The one thing the Bengals did do well yesterday was the where was it? The snap counts. They won 67-63 over the Ravens. So it's not a bad thing. They just got to correct that offensive line.
Right. Exactly. All right. Get low. Taylor is good for the club. I don't think he's good for play calling. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I would like to see him maybe let who's the offensive Callahan. Is that his name, Callahan, the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind letting him try to call some, just because not everybody's cut out to call plays. I mean, you're just not, and Zach's admitted it a couple times. That was a bad play call on my part. So yeah, that's where I think maybe that is a change that should happen. I don't know if Zach's ever been asked that question or not. But
I'm thinking maybe Zach is taking too much on himself too, as far as trying to be a head coach, trying to control the offense, and that's just too much. If he just tries to handle one thing and let the coaches do the other, maybe this team will probably do something. But as far as the offensive line, we got to deal with what we got, guys.
Yeah, the offensive line, I don't think there's any fixing to them. Matthew, the inconsistency is starting to show to me. And the thing is, I mean, I agree with you to a point, because, okay, last week when we had 100 or 502 yards of offense, nobody's complaining about Zach Taylor's play calling. Nobody's complaining about anything. So I'm not saying it's not a good point. It could be, but the biggest thing is the offensive line. I can't stop saying that. I mean, you get that part fixed, then the other stuff, I think you can actually make a judgment on. You can't really judge his play calling. You can't really judge his stuff because we can't get the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands before he's getting hit. It's so hard to make a judgment on all these other things,
Right, it
So
seems like
are
when
we
Joe Burrow
pretty
goes,
aware? Go ahead, Mike.
oh, I was just going to say that as soon as the ball's hiked to Joe Burrow, as soon as he gets that ball in his hand, there's already a defender on him. So it's right there. It proves everything that the offensive line needs to be fixed, but it probably won't be this year, though.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it ain't gonna be this year.
All right, Matthew. Last week we played complimentary football. The week before that, the defense is getting killed by the run, and this week the offense couldn't do anything, and the defense was pretty good. I guess you're talking about the inconsistency. Yes, I agree with you with the inconsistency, and that it kind of goes to Logan Wilson's a badass. I agree with you. The inconsistency goes with a young team. There is a lot of young guys on this team. I mean, we really only got 4 veterans, I guess, if you count Huber, the punter, that are left over from the playoff teams we had. And they're it. I mean, everybody else is pretty young guys. I mean, you got Von Bell and these guys they brought in last year. I mean, DJ Reader, he's a veteran, but he's still a young guy. And so, I mean, it comes with the territory of, trying to become a winning team. And, it's not, I hope it gets better, but that's kind of the territory we're in.
It's rough. It's really hard right now. It feels like only us Bengal fans can feel this same feeling right now, the way that everybody feels, everybody watching this, all you guys sitting here next to me. It is horrible. It's a feeling that we all know way too well.
Last week we were dancing.
It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
Last week we were dancing. Me and Jeremy were dancing. We were singing. Jeremy had a poem and everything. I mean, we were having a good old time. So, but the thing is, I got the schedule here. Let me see. Where do I write that down? Okay, here you go. It's the schedule that we have. To me, we have winnable games still. I mean, I honestly think we're playing the Colts at the Colts. I think that's a winnable game. I really do. I mean, I know the Colts are a good team and everything, and they did get beat by the Browns, but we played with the Browns. I know by the score, it doesn't look like it, but if you remember the game, we played with the Browns, and we have Geno back. Now we lost Reader, so running game anyway. So we got that, and then we got the Browns here. To me, that's another winnable game. Could be. These are games that we could win. I'm not saying they're going to. I have no idea. The Titans, that's a hard one. Then you got the Squealers, and they got at Washington. Washington, they just played their 3rd string quarterback. So that's another one that we could win. So I mean, it's not. You got the Giants, Miami. That one they're starting to step up and get better. And then the interesting one to me, and I kind of circled this at the beginning of the year when Andy Dalton went to the Cowboys. I said, hey, if Dak ever gets hurt, then Andy could be playing. And he is. He's coming here, and Andy Dalton's going to be playing against the Bengals. You don't think he's going to be fired up to play us? So I'm not saying it's a winnable game, but the Cowboys have been so inconsistent over the last couple of years. I mean, who knows? It's not over. I mean, the Ravens are just a really good freaking team.
I just wish we could play the Jaguars every week. Take the pinkies out of our mouth and get this over with.
I think we should petition for that. We just want to play the Jaguars every week and forget it. All right, Gitlo, what are your thoughts versus the Colts? I think we can force them into some mistakes. Yeah, I'll just bring that up. Yeah. I think, honestly, when they signed Old Man Rivers, Philip Rivers, I think they messed up. I honestly think they should have went out and got Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton would have been a better fit for them at quarterback because Philip Rivers played terrible last year. And did you watch him yesterday? He didn't play very good. So, and he's another guy. You pressure him, which the Bengals defense have started to get pressure on the quarterbacks. It could be a winnable game. We'll see. I mean, the only game we've had that really wasn't winnable and we weren't in was yesterday. The Browns and the Browns game, I think we were in that one.
You got something, Mike?
Nope. Okay. Ray McDonald. Should we bring back Clay I can't even say his name. I have no idea. Clay, who's that? Carditz? and Josh Kimfeld. I honestly don't know who they are.
He's talking about that Josh Talupo or whatever his name was, defensive lineman.
I don't know. I honestly, Ray, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Got another one here. JC, is AJ going to be traded? We were just talking about that, and I don't know what you trade him for. You know, I mean, he's getting paid $18 million. He hasn't really done much. Looks like he's been hurt all year. I'm not sure why any team in the NFL would want him. You know, that's just my thoughts. What you got, Jeremy?
Yeah, we went over it a few minutes ago, but yeah, AJ let me down yesterday big time. You know, it was to see him not really even make a play for the ball, and then once it was intercepted, rewatching that play, wow, just the lack of anything that you could just tell he's gave up on Cincinnati for some reason. I don't understand why. Burrow's tried to get him the ball, God knows, but it hasn't been there for AJ. The long ball hasn't been there this year. It's not
right.
Exactly AJ's fault completely, but at the end of the day, I don't see us trading AJ. I don't see anybody spending $18 million on a guy a year and giving away a good player. I don't see that happening for AJ Green. Not at this point of his career, and not with what he showed yesterday.
All right, I got a question from Alan here. AJ is going nowhere because no one wants to pay him. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Alan. Crazy man. Yeah, I don't think they're trading him. I mean, I don't see how he can claim he wants to get traded all he wants, but you're not doing anything. And dude, you're getting paid $18 million. Like Dave Lapham said in the Bengals booth podcast, that's good money. I'll take that. You know, so I don't see. I mean, put it this way: if the Bengals could get something for him and somebody made a killer offer, I'm sure they'd take it. But I doubt anybody's even calling. You know, hey, you know that guy AJ Green, you know, the one who hadn't played in a year and a half. You know, he was good like 7 years ago. He had 7 straight Pro Bowls. He was good, and then like last 3 years, he hasn't done anything. Yeah, we'll give you, our All-Pro right tackle for him. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's like John Ross. They're almost in the same boat now. We're stuck. We're with them. They're not going anywhere this year. It's the way it is.
JC, maybe a 6th rounder. Dude, honestly, they're paid. He's getting paid $18 million. I don't see any team giving up anything to pay AJ Green $18 million to do what he's doing. You know, I mean, the only thing we can hope with him and John Ross is hope that they actually can start showing up. And the funny thing is, up until yesterday, AJ Green was the second leading receiver in yardage. I don't know if he is right now. I kind of doubt it, but that's the one thing. It's just it seemed like his desire, his want to go get the ball is not there. I don't know if he just doesn't want to. He's hurt. He doesn't have it, because we'll talk about that interception you're talking about where they threw it over. Joe threw it over his head, but he didn't jump for it. He didn't make an effort. You said, I didn't see this part, but Jeremy, you're saying he didn't even run after the guy to go get him. I mean,
really half-assed. I mean, just it was sad. It was really sad to see. If anybody, I think I posted it on Bengals Nation, I believe, and if you go look, you can find the play. It's up there everywhere. He just completely gave up on the whole play. The guy could have ran it back for a touchdown for all he knew, and he didn't care. It's unbelievable.
Did he just run to the sideline? Because like I said, I missed that part. I was so ticked off.
Yeah, he kind of looked at him, jogged a little bit, ran towards the side. If he had blockers in front of him and he was going in the end zone, that would probably be one of the biggest stories of the week. Was how bad he just gave up on that play. It was bad.
All right, Dennis. The Bengals wasted their franchise tag on AJ Green. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're wasted it because, I mean, who else would they have put it on? You got one tag, and you got to use it on somebody. So I'm not sure, who else they would have. I can't think of who else they would have tagged. I mean, this was a big discussion I had in the offseason. Do you sign AJ or do you sign Joe Mixon? And I was like, you sign Joe Mixon. I mean, and I never wanted to sign Joe Mixon for longer than 4 years. I was like, 4 years and was perfect, and you guys can go back on my shows. I said it. I don't know when I said it, but it's on my shows. I said it that, 4-year deal is perfect. And to me, you can't sign AJ because he hasn't played in, a year and a half and you don't know what you got moving forward. So, I mean, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do about AJ. There's not a whole lot we can do about Ross. There's not a whole lot we can do about the offensive line. The only chance we got the offensive line is, look, if the caller or the listener we had earlier said that the IR is only 3 weeks, hopefully Seraphilia will be back, hopefully this week, because that should be 3 weeks if he's healthy, and if he's back, hopefully that'll fix at least the guard. I mean, that's our right guard has been a revolving door. I mean, we started out with Seraphilia. He got hurt. Then we had Billy Price in there. Then we had Fred Johnson. Then we had Redmond. Then we went back to Fred Johnson yesterday. I mean, it's all of them suck. They all suck. We don't have a right guard except for Surflow, maybe, or Surfield. Maybe he is, but I can't, I only saw him on there. All right. LOL. Well said, Jeremy. Give us the Jags prayers to Dak, but now we're going to play Andy. What's your thoughts on that? I agree with Jeremy. AJ's given up. What's our thoughts on Andy playing? I'm happy for Andy. I feel bad for Dak. I mean, Dak, he took a chance, you try to do what Joe Flacco did. He played on that 1-year deal and he took him all the way to the Super Bowl and he got paid a ton of money and then he sucked the rest of his career. Now, Dak was not trying to suck the rest, but Dak was on par playing very, very good football. He's number one in a lot of passing and stats and everything. And then to get hurt like that, it's terrible. It's, but I'm happy for Andy. He's going to get a shot. And, I was never one that said all this stuff was Andy's fault in the first place. All right, Ray. I think we as Bengals fans and the organization play things too close and need to be more of a business and trade people when it's time to go after key people and not just players, but coaches as well. Yeah, and I will give you that because Mike Brown gets a lot of crap. But Mike Brown is a very loyal guy. I mean, if you're one of his guys, you're one of his guys, and he'll take care of you. I mean, you can ask the old Bengals players; they still keep in touch with Mike Brown, and he helps them out and stuff. But I mean, they hold on to guys too long sometimes. They do, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not willing to get rid of Zach Taylor yet. I think 1 more year, and let's see what happens. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you. He's been that way for years. How about you, Mike?
I agree. I mean, at least give him another year, and I mean, if he doesn't prove anything, maybe he can find somewhere else to go, or maybe drop him to a defensive coordinator somewhere. I don't know, but I know give him 1 more year, he'll be fine.
I don't think he'll be a defensive coordinator because he's been an offensive coach, Mike. That would be interesting, man. That would shake some stuff up right there. They fire Zach Taylor and they make him the defensive coordinator. I think that's the route we should go. All right. Get low. AJ, Tate, T. Ross, and Taylor. Let's go back to 5 wides to take the pressure off the line. They want to. They can't. They tried in the very first. If you look at the very first play of the game, they tried that, and they couldn't because they couldn't block it. I mean, trust me, they would love to do that, but they can't. If you can't block the guys coming, you can't spread them out. You got to have more guys in there to block the guys coming. So, Kitlo,
yeah.
I agree with you, brother, but they can't. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what you were on top of that. Everybody's got to realize, well, I'm sure everybody does, but simple football. But if you got 5 wide receivers out there, that's 5 potential blockers that aren't blocking for Burrow. And I want to say at least 60% of the time yesterday against Baltimore, I think we pretty much showed that we can't even cover or hold back a defense with our 5 guys and a tight end, let alone taking away the tight end and having 5 guys out there and just 5 blocking for Burrow.
Right. Well, that's
if we want to team for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and the thing is, I gotta I keep going back to the Jacksonville game. We saw a glimpse of what Zach Taylor's offense looks like once we have an offensive line that can block. If you watch what they did against Jacksonville, if we can ever get an offensive line like that, that's what the offense is going to look like, in my opinion, where they're going 5 wide and Joe Mixon's running like crazy. And, hang on a second there. Got some more questions. Hang on. Did we do that one already? Yeah, I did that one already. Yeah. All right, here we go. We got the time. Sorry. Man, dude, AJ, Ross and AJ, peas and carrots. Yep. Man, Jenny, we like peas and carrots, man. I love you, Jenny. That's a Forrest Gump reference for all you younger kids out there. All right, I think we are drafting in the top 5. If Sowell is gone, do we need to go with Jamar Chase? So I think so. I think that's the offensive lineman everybody keeps talking about it from Oregon. I don't know who's Jamar Chase. I know
he's wide receiver, LSU wide receiver.
Jamar Chase. Okay, yeah. I got you now. Yeah, so I think he's the offensive lineman. I think, but because that's the one everybody keeps telling me about. And honestly, I go ahead.
Like we were talking about, just I have a feeling they're going to take the best player available in the draft, even though we need offensive linemen. But they're going to. I'm telling you, as bad as we have been trying to take offensive linemen in the draft, at Oregon, I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on another one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, like you said, if we are going to be in the top 5, which most likely we will be in the top 5 drafts again, you don't want to reach for an offensive lineman when he might not be worth that pick, And if you can get a great wide, because the Bengals do need a guy to take the top off the defense. That is a blatant, obvious thing that we do need. I like the 4 guys. I'll take AJ. I'll take T. Higgins. I'll take Tate, and I'll take Boyd. Those 3 I think are good. Those are 3 solid ones. I'll take those guys. Give me 2 more guys that can take the top off, and we're good. And if what's the guy's name? I'm sorry, Jamar Chase. If he's available, they might take him. But that doesn't mean that they can't still address it. They could always trade back up, or they could get it. You can get a good offensive lineman in the second round. I mean, you can get guards. Guards are not first round picks. I mean, they're not. You don't draft a guard. You draft centers and you draft tackles and number 1 picks, first round picks in the offensive line. Guards, you don't draft them till the second, third round. So they're not going to do that. So you can get a guard in the second round, and hopefully maybe you sign one in a right tackle in the offseason. That's a good way for them to do it.
True.
All right. Alan Trunapole, Mike Brown may be loyal, but does he make personal changes? He makes personal changes too slow because of that loyalty. You have to do what is necessary to win and not to keep people happy. Yeah, I agree with you. He does stick to things too much sometimes. What do you guys think?
He's done that forever. And, we've all watched forever, 30 plus years. But that's the man he is. He's been that way from Jeff Blake to David Klingler to Paul Justin to I don't see Mike Brown changing anytime soon. I don't know what you think about it, Mike, but that's where I'm at with Mike Brown. He hasn't changed in 25 years. He's already, 80 years old, getting close to it. I don't see him changing now.
I agree with Jeremy. I mean, if he hasn't changed by now, he probably won't ever change. And with the teams that you got now, we're going to have to stick it out until he either, retires or does something, but nothing's going to change right now. So,
yeah, well, I mean, the thing, like I said, okay. Everybody says Mike Brown hasn't changed. I think Mike Brown has changed a little bit. I mean, he is still a loyal guy, but if you look at Mike Brown of the 90s to Mike Brown now, I mean, we actually went out and signed free agents that weren't ours, and they paid him a lot of money. And we actually, in the 21st century have built an offensive line twice. We never did that in the 90s, so he has changed. The loyalty factor, no. That's why Marvin Lewis was here forever. That's why David Shula was our coach for 4 years. 3 years too long. So I mean, and like I said, I'm still not to the point where I think that we need to get rid of Zach Taylor because the part Jeremy, you know me, I'm always optimistic. I keep going back to the Jacksonville game, and if we get that offensive line and the way they look, they had 505 yards of offense. I know Jacksonville sucks, but if you get an offensive line, that's what Joe Burrow can do, and that's what Zach Taylor can do. So I don't know. I think you at least wait one more year on Zach Taylor. All right, get low. He did go into free agency hard this year. There is hope. Right, exactly. I was going nuts. I could not believe, before the draft in like February, March, it's like every other day, oh, the Bengals signed this guy, the Bengals signed this guy. And it's not, retreads. It's not signing AJ Hawk, who's at the end of his career. Remember signing him as linebacker at the end of his career. So it wasn't that. It's signing guys like DJ Reader. I know he's done now, but that was a great signing, to keep him for the Bengals. And those are things that Mike Brown just didn't do before, and he did it, Hey, Mike.
Yeah, at this point, you can pretty much whatever. It is what it is. I've said that 100 times, I know, but I don't see anything changing miraculously for the Bengals. I don't see linemen getting that much better. I think as we play lesser competition, we'll play up with that team.
Right.
But as we start playing good teams again, if this is what we're going to look like, we're in some serious heat. Cincinnati. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, we're in some serious problems against the better team. That just shows you how far. It shows you how far the Bengals are away. But it also just shows you, to me, you can totally see the problems. You can see what has to be fixed. And if we can see it, then you hope to God the Bengals can see it. But we all saw the offensive line last year, and they didn't fix it. So we'll see. Hold on here. I got another question here. TV man, how does every other team make player evaluations that pan out? And this staff has missed badly so many times. TV man, I don't know if you just got on the show or not, but I was a point that I had made in the 5 years that we went to the playoffs. And yes, I know we lost all of them, lost playoffs, but Duke Tobin, Marvin Lewis, whoever's in charge of the draft, hit on almost every single one of those players. Since that, we haven't hit. We started out with Obuehi. We took a chance on Obuehi. That was terrible. We've drafted Billy Price. That hasn't worked out. We drafted John Ross. That hasn't worked out. But my hope is this draft so far looks like we've hit on all of them. I don't know about Adeniji, but the linebackers, Wilson, Gaither Williams, is that it? He's been good. Davis, Gaither, yeah. He's been good. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins. It looks like they've hit on almost all of them this year. So that's a good sign moving forward. And sometimes you're not going to hit on all of them. It's football. It's like, playing the lottery, you're not going to hit on every one of them.
I kind of get where he's coming from, though. If you look back at you remember Antonio Bryant, the big boy, the man, the wide receiver, the legend, comes to Cincinnati, career's gone. Kajana Carter took him, first career over. Reader.
Why do you have to bring up bad memories, Jeremy?
I'm just giving him. I feel where he's coming from because it does feel that way.
Yeah,
it does feel that way with Cincinnati. It really does. And this year with Reader and Trey Waynes both riding the bench now, both out for the year, it's tough. We're fans. We're always going to be fans. We're going to stick with the team no matter what. Cincinnati fans always do. We don't always show up, but we always watch. But it's hard. It's tough. It's tough to watch this every single year. It feels like a century now, but it's really only been a few years since we've been to the playoffs. Still ain't won a playoff game, but
2016,
whatever.
That was last time we were in the playoffs.
Yeah, 4 years.
Mike, Hubbard's out too, right, Mike? Are you talking about him?
Yeah, Sam Hubbard is out with an elbow injury. I do not know how he out. So as of right now, we'll just have to. I'll just have to get some updates and find out how long he's going to be out. But as of right now, I don't know. So
Get low. We still have the 17th or 18th best record in the NFL today. Yeah. Yeah,
what we need to do is we need to move over to the NFC, and that way at 1-3-1 we can be tied for the lead. That's what we need to do.
Wait, you're leaving us, Alan, to drink a beer? What the hell? Where's my beer? Come on. I think you should share. I mean, come on. You're gonna leave us to drink a beer? God, some people are so selfish. Those damn turnip holes. Anyway, yeah, it's the same stuff. We always injuries, the offensive line, yada yada yada. All right, I think I'm gonna go to wrap the show up, guys. But I'll talk about my Facebook groups here that most of us on here help run. They are Bengals Nation, Bearcats Country, Reds Country, and Cyclones Country. And I ask you to follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now I'm going to put this up later on today or tomorrow on the podcast. You guys can check it out. Make sure you give me a 5-star review. Us a 5-star review. And YouTubers, we're doing awesome. We're up to 666 subscribers. So if you guys are new to the show and you're watching it on Bengals Nation or Bearcat Country or whatever, do me a favor, click on over to YouTube, get yourself a subscription. It's free. And look for Sports with Strawberry Ice. Click on it, like, share, subscribe. Try to get my numbers up to 700 as fast as we can. And other than that, Jeremy Dane, would you please do the honor, sir, of ending our show?
Well, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday was horrible.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Very tough.
So I just want to tell you guys, even though there's no poem, there's nothing funny about today. There's nothing funny about this little show we do here. Okay. Today, there's nothing to smile about. There is one good thing. There's one good thing that come out of all this.
What's that?
You guys got to remember it.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
The one thing is, and it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati. So act like it. Who day?
Exactly. Who day, and that's just sports, baby.